Viewers, the heinous rape and murder in Kolkata has exposed the rotting underbelly of our policing system, revealing a trail of incompetence, dereliction and, dare I say, shameless deflection. The botched probe has not only compromised justice but has also sparked a nationwide outrage. Evidence gathering, a basic tenet of investigation, was callously ignored. Witnesses at the crime scene were left uninterrogated. But viewers, the final insult came when the police chief had the audacity to blame media for the hospital rampage by the mob. This brazen deflection is a slap in the face of victims' memory and the public's trust. The police have a sacred duty to investigate crimes with integrity and professionalism, but instead they have displayed a staggering lack of accountability. Their failures have not only obstructed justice but also fueled public anger, as it is evident. We demand better. We demand a policing system that serves justice, not just power. We demand accountability for every lapse, every failure. The Kolkata horror must be a wake-up call for systemic reform, not just a fleeting moment of outrage. And to discuss this, we have four super cops joining us live. But before we cut across to them, listen to what the Kolkata Police Commissioner said.
What has happened here is because of the media, the wrong media campaign, which has been malicious media campaign, which is going as far as Kolkata Police is concerned. What has Kolkata Police not done? In this case, they have done everything.
Viewers, you heard the reactions. Let's quickly open this up. We have a stellar panel. Our guest tonight need no introduction. Miran, Yashovardhan Azad, Dr. Vickram Singh, PK Jain completes the panel. Good evening, all of you. Miran, ma'am, I want to start by asking you, what do you make of the staggering police lapses that are coming to fore in the Kolkata rape and murder case?
I don't know what staggering lapses you're talking about. I think even before the case was transferred to CBI, they had found the accused. And the so-called rumor that the family was informed of suicide and not of rape with murder, it has been proved that it's not the police which misinformed the family, but it was one of the faculties or the hospital doctors. So I am pretty satisfied as far as the investigation is concerned. Whatever is left will be filled in by CBI, and mind you, my information is that they have conclusive evidence about the blood having been found in the nails of the accused. This kind of evidence is very good for prosecution. So I'm really not aware what police lapses are you talking about.
Yeah, let me list a few, ma'am. The police initially registered a case of unnatural death, but the High Court said that this can happen since there was no complaint at the relevant point of time from any corner. Then the statement of the principal of this medical college was not recorded at first. Only one person was arrested and the High Court noted that there was no significant progress in the probe after 9th of August. Parents initially told that this was a suicide case. Someone from the hospital had informed them about suicide. It was not on part of the police, but the police also did not interrogate the people who had gathered at the scene of crime. So this is what I was talking about. I want to bring in Dr. Vickram Singh. Dr. Vickram Singh, you've been, I'm sure, following up what's going on in Kolkata. The public anger and outrage. What do you make of this? Because many people believe that this has exposed the systemic rot of policing.
Absolutely, Pranesh ji. I have my own reservations about the way the investigation was conducted initially. Assuming that the suicide note or the suicide news was given by somebody from the hospital, it was the job of the investigators to come down and take him to task. The manner in which the room next to the seminar hall was demolished, whereas the scene of crime should have been present, what action did the Kolkata police do? Then somebody offered a compensation. I don't know what kind of compensation, by whom. And if the Calcutta police was a mute spectator, they did not offer the compensation, well, I have my own reservations about the professional competence. Then what about polygraph test, narco-analysis, announcement of a reward of, say, 15 lakhs on any tangible, actionable intelligence in respect of the case? And to top it all, the accused Sanjay Roy happens to be what is known as a civic volunteer, getting 12,000 rupees, sleeps in the 4th Battalion barracks, 4th Battalion accommodation. The Calcutta police probably, I think, did not have it in them to question him. the manner in which he was caught and then he was brazen to say कि मुझे फांसी दे दो, goes to show the unholy nexus between the accused and the Kolkata police. I would say that yes, whatever required to be done, the principal should have been examined. The principal has not covered himself with glory. The former superintendent Akhtar Ali has raised very serious allegations against the then principal Dr. Sandeep Ghosh about his malpractices in taking bribe in allotment of quarters, giving viva voce, managing the examination, allotment of other accommodation, and also other nefarious activities which I will not go into now. What action did the Kolkata police?
Right.
Because this gentleman happens to be very close to the TMC and also former CPM. Now he took sides and he knows which side of the bread has the butter. I think these are the things that the Kolkata police should have examined in the first 24 hours. And if they did not, why did they not do it?
Yashovardhan Azad, what is your take on the way probe was conducted by the police?
Yeah. So there are 150,000 civic volunteers in the state. They are political appointees. And this accused was posted on that police outpost. The question is, there were reports about this man already dealing with hanky-panky things, trying to arrange things for money in the hospital, and also his wife had reported against him. Now, the principal knew about it. It was his job to complain to the police, and the police should have known about it, and they should have thrown him out. That is number one. Number two, as far as the investigation is concerned, it is allegedly said that the ACP had said that it was a suicide. If he said it, throw him out. Secondly, the principal, there is a security officer also in the hospital. He should have been thrown out immediately. Number three, when the post-mortem, in fact, I understand it was video recorded, which was a good thing. And the kind of injuries, brutal injuries on the body, and the kind of fluids extracted, it appeared at the very outset that this cannot be the job of one person. So I understand if the police did not announce immediately because they would try to catch the other people. Number four, as Miran said rightly, the blood on the shoes was a very good investigation because that will give you a lot of information. You know, number five, the scene of the crime was preserved. In fact, a perimeter line was drawn or not, I'm not aware, but the cops were posted there. And where the modifications were being done, that was just outside the seminar hall. So from there, the crime scene was still intact to draw, you know, various things, the hairs and prints and DNA samples, etc., etc. But in the end, what has happened is that during that night strike which took place, the police could not plan properly, and initially they could not prevent it because they realized that it could be students and could damage their, you know, credibility still further. As it is, they were under pressure, and that's why the policemen were attacked. But thank God, the crime scene was still not damaged. So as of now, I would say, impartially, if the police would have continued, they had a remand till Saturday or Sunday, they would have been able to crack the case. But in this kind of atmosphere, when there is, you know, so much of mutual distrust, it's good that the case has been given to the CBI and the case will come out. But now is the time for the tempers to cool down and stop this political polemic about this entire exercise.
Mr. Jain, what do you make of the probe, and how would you describe the transfer of probe from Kolkata police to the CBI? What does it tell you?
Thank you very much for inviting me here. All my three learned colleagues have expressed their opinions. There is hardly much left for me to speak out. The only thing I would say that the dean of that college has been transferred. He resigned actually, and within hours he was appointed as the head of another national medical college. So that speaks a lot about his political affiliations and what was tried to be hidden in that in respect of this incident. I'm of the opinion that Calcutta police has not come out with glory on this particular case. Certain actions were taken by them, but I think transfer of the case to the CBI would generally send out a very positive message that a fair probe will now take place. Though some of the evidence would have been lost in terms of whatever damage has taken place to that property, whatever damage has taken place to the crime scene. Mr. Azad has said that there is no damage to the crime scene, but I was seeing a couple of reports where a lot of damage has been done to the hospital and to the crime scene also. So I don't know how much will be the CBI able to dig out now. But I'm sure that with whatever technical tools are available with the agency, now they will be in a position to at least reconstruct the case, see how many people were involved. This guy alone cannot do this kind of a damage to this victim the way it has been done. She has been very badly injured. She has been injured all over her body. This was not possible for one person of the kind of person I saw in the video. A kind of that person not be able to cause injuries of this nature and this magnitude to the victim. So I'm sure that there would be more than one person involved. And with all this background of his being a political worker of the party and having some kind of a protection from the powers that be, it is going to be a daunting task all the same.
Okay. Miran ma'am, I want to bring you in on what happened last night. The Reclaim the Night protest was a pre-scheduled protest. There were enough announcements on social media and otherwise that there will be a night vigil. Why didn't the police take enough precautionary measures? Because the pictures of the mob rampage in the hospital tells you that the police was caught unaware completely.
Yes. From whatever I have seen, on TV, on various videos, police was definitely not prepared for this sudden attack on the protesters and the ransacking of the hospital. But I feel now this is becoming too political, and instead of focusing on investigation, on the quality of investigation, on trying to find forensic evidence, technical evidence, the state is getting into the grip of which party is in power, how we can bring it down, how we can take advantage of this. And I also feel the happenings in Bangladesh is also encouraging the miscreants, the fellows who are used to creating problem, and therefore very strong need for Kolkata police to be on full alert and to be responding immediately.
Right. Last
night, I definitely feel they were taken by surprise.
Ma'am, not just surprise. You know, the reason I asked you that question is because what happened after last night, the police commissioner, Mr. Vineet Goyal, comes out. And after the series of dereliction that we discussed, he says what happened here is because of the wrong media campaign, which has been a malicious media campaign. Now, I mean, to my mind, it is bizarre. How can the police be blaming the media for what essentially is a failure on their part?
No, I don't think it's bizarre. Yes, I also hold irresponsible media coverage as one of the reasons and causes.
No, ma'am, but are you saying reporting on a crime will encourage mob to go and vandalize the hospital? And the police will allow that to happen? If you look at the footage closely, the policemen are mute spectators, not doing anything, as if, you know, it's a free pass to the mob.
पुलिस वालों का today the position is कुछ किया तो भी हमारे पीछे लगेंगे और नहीं किया तो भी. So a constable on the street is not sure whether taking action would be backed by the powers.
Ma'am, I understand that.
You have literally made us powerless.
I understand that, ma'am, but the reason I read out the quote of Mr. Vineet Goyal, he's certainly not a constable. He's the commissioner of police. Dr. Singh, is it right on part of the CP to say this, to blame the media?
Mr. Pranesh, I have very strong disagreement on that count. I would say that the police I have never felt helpless in my life ever, as an ASP and as the Director General of Police. I would challenge anyone to come in my way of the rule of law and see what happens to you, whether it's the media, it's the anti-social elements, or the whoever. And then to be caught on lightning doesn't strike a person twice. In this the Kolkata police has been caught on the wrong side multiple times. They have been caught on the wrong when the murder happened, during the course of the investigation, and thirdly, when the agitation happened. Why blame others? What was your bandobast doing? Why did you not have a presence there and ensured nakas, impose 144, impose, even if it's required, curfew also? You had everything that is there in the rule book, but you chose only to give issue threats. And what we seniors believe now, that the policing now is restricted to the social media. I do not come out of my house. I do not come out of my air-conditioned comfort zone. I just only speak on the media, and that is the end of the story. The fact of the matter is the police commissioner should have come and been there and stood like a rock of Gibraltar preventing any lawlessness. That is beyond the scope. I perhaps am expecting too much. But to the fact that this boy was a pervert and also a councillor and a political appointee, and the perversion that he had. Look at it. The injury on the deceased, I will just take another 10 seconds. The thyroid cartilage was absolutely broken. Both the eyes gouged because the face of the deceased was banged to the wall. And the sexual part, the genital torture, runs into 4 pages. Perverted sexuality, genital torture. But has to be a monster and a Frankenstein to inflict this kind of a death. Multiple people, as respected Miranji has mentioned, and other my colleagues would like to agree with it, that it is impossible for a frail man to inflict this injury. And then not to ask who are the other two accused, what was the reason, why did you not give a forensic
all this will come up during the investigation, and it's for the courts to ascertain that. But Mr. Azad, is it right for the police chief to be blaming the media?
Well, let me say that it's an utopian concept to believe that the politicians or the police or the media would be absolutely fair. So the police commissioner should be very reticent about making such statements. How does it matter what the media says or doesn't say? The investigation has to be proper. But about that night, let me add in a few seconds that at that particular night, it was reclaiming the night. And you know, the origin started in Leeds, started by women. Now, in this particular case, the police got overawed. The police was not prepared. They thought that these could be students, those elements of TFI or all that. Okay. It has happened to us that we don't attack immediately because we feel they'll be called it's a lathi charge, and that's why they waited. In the process, they got overawed and they got actually beaten. I
understand that because 15 police officials were injured. They have arrested 9 people so far. 3 FIRs have been filed. Let's see what happens on this front. But I'm glad that we had a larger debate on policing and the reforms that are needed. I thank all of you for joining us on Times Now.